MalaMala is one of the oldest and most historical private game reserves in South Africa and the first to make the transition from hunting to photographic safaris. It's the blueprint on which the South African safari industry was built. Now, an award-winning wildlife photographer as well as an author have spent close to 30 years in the reserve and launched their book, The Big Seven, there this week. Now, the book illustrates some of Africa's most iconic species. The aim is for people to enjoy the book and to literally transfer themselves on the game drives.
MalaMala Game Reserve has been in existence since 1927 and is the largest private Big Five game reserve in South Africa. Comprising close to 30,000 acres, it shares a 19-kilometre unfenced border with the world-renowned Kruger National Park and lies strategically sandwiched between the national park and the SABC Reserve. It's a haven for tourists, photojournalists and filmmakers to capture footage of wildlife and breathtaking animal encounters.
We here at MalaMala, with the area of land that we have, with the enormous river frontage that we have, with our proximity to the open border with the Kruger National Park, we have incredible game viewing, and it's game viewing like that attracts people like William and Gerald, who are wildlife enthusiasts and photographers, and they've been able to produce this incredible book, the Big Seven.
Its river frontage running north to south is the lifeblood of the reserve, especially in the dry winter months. MalaMala is the only game reserve in the region where the benefits of tourism directly support adjacent communities. MalaMala is the quintessential African bush experience for guests and photographers. It's also a wonderful and special place for old friends to launch a book. Gerald Hinde and Will Taylor have spent over 30 years recording African animals, people and landscapes. The two first met at MalaMala in 1989 when Will was a senior game ranger, and it's a friendship that has grown over the years. After hours and hours in the bush, they published The Big Five in 2003, which became the best-selling wildlife book in the country at the time. Other books and many wildlife films have followed, culminating in The Big Seven, which according to experts is some of their best work.
The magic of MalaMala has been in my heart for 29 years, Craig. Without MalaMala, I would never have turned professional as a photographer. They gave me the opportunities, and I'm so grateful. It's the most magic and most special place in Africa, the best place to see leopards. William was the obvious choice because of his passion about the bush comes out. And he's quite an adventurous fellow, as you know, so he writes adventure stories. If you go through the Big Seven, we try to give you the adventures in the bush in our search for these special species. So my photographs show the areas, and by the time I hope, but by the time you've gone through the Big Seven book, you feel as if you've been on a game drive. So I try to take a photograph to show my passion for the bush.
The Big Seven includes the normal iconic animals such as lion, leopard, rhino, buffalo and elephant. Gerald and Will, however, added the increasingly rare cheetah with its blinding speed and natural elegance, as well as the exciting ruthless wild dog with its complex social society and relentless hunting style.
Both Gerald and I, our careers basically began here. You know, I started here as a game ranger and have been lucky enough to be coming back almost every year for the last 25, 30 years. Gerald and I, when we were developing the book, his idea was for his photographs to tell a story, and my idea was for my writing and the photographs that I have in the book, although there's not as many as Gerald's, to take you on a journey and take you on a game drive, basically, you know, help you feel what it feels like to be afforded the opportunity to do what we do. I always say leopards are what brought us together, because, you know, Gerald had almost completed a book on leopard, and when he had to move his study area, and he came from a place that had, you know, pretty good leopard viewing, and when he arrived here, I said, yeah, no, I'll show you around, let's go and have a look. And on that day I showed him 14 different leopard territories, and of those we probably found 6 or 7 of those animals in the first 2 days, and he was blown away.
Two sons of the African soul, sharing stories of their life in the bush, especially at MalaMala, through their magnificent book, The Big Seven. Craig Murray, SABC News, MalaMala. That's it.